Chapter 9. Jesus at Work, Bringing Faith into Your Career and Calling. For a long time, I believed that my faith and my career were two separate things. I thought that following Jesus meant what I did in church, in prayer, or in ministry, while my job was just a way to pay the bills. But the more I grew in my faith, the more I realized that Jesus isn't just present in church. He wants to be present in every part of my life, including my work. I used to struggle with questions like, how do I honor God in a workplace that doesn't talk about faith? Or is my career part of my calling? Or is it just a job? Can I truly be a light for Christ in a professional environment? What I've come to understand is that our work is not separate from our faith. It's an extension of it. The way I work, the attitude I bring, the way I treat my coworkers, all of it can be an act of worship to God. Whether I'm in an office, running a business, working in a trade, or managing a home, my work is an opportunity to reflect Jesus. God's purpose for work. From the very beginning, God designed work to be a good and meaningful part of life. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Genesis 2:15. Work was a part of God's original plan, not a punishment. It became difficult after the fall, but it was always meant to be something that brings purpose and fulfillment. That means my work, no matter what field I'm in, matters to God. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. That verse changed the way I saw my job. I wasn't just working for a boss, a paycheck, or a company. I was working for the Lord. Seeing my work as a ministry. For years, I thought ministry meant being a pastor, a missionary, or working in a church. But I realized that ministry isn't limited to those roles. Every job can be a ministry when it's done for God's glory. Jesus didn't just call his followers to worship on Sundays. He called us to be a light in the world, wherever we are. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. That means my workplace is a mission field. The way I act, the way I speak, the way I handle challenges, all of it reflects Christ. Even in a secular job, I can show God's love through integrity, doing the right thing even when no one's watching. Excellence, working with a standard of excellence as an act of worship. Kindness, treating coworkers with respect and love. Grace, being patient and forgiving, even in difficult situations. Navigating challenges as a Christian in the workplace. Bringing faith into my career hasn't always been easy. There have been moments when I've struggled with being surrounded by negativity or gossip, facing ethical dilemmas, working for a difficult boss, balancing work with my spiritual life. In these moments, I've had to remind myself that Jesus is with me at work, just as much as he is with me in church. Here's how I've learned to handle some of these challenges. Number 1, handling workplace conflict with grace. Workplace conflicts are inevitable, whether it's a disagreement with a coworker, a demanding boss, or a stressful situation. My natural response used to be frustration or avoidance, but Jesus calls me to handle conflicts differently. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18. That means responding with patience instead of reacting in anger, choosing to forgive even when I feel wronged, seeking to understand instead of assuming the worst. I found that when I chose peace over pride, it only strengthens my relationships. It also shows people the love of Christ. Number 2, standing firm in my values. There have been moments when I felt pressure to compromise my integrity for the sake of success, approval, or convenience. But Jesus didn't call on me to fit in. He called on me to stand out. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. When faced with ethical dilemmas at work, I remind myself, honesty is more valuable than success. Integrity matters more than popularity. God's approval is more important than human approval. Even when doing the right thing feels costly, God honors those who remain faithful to him. 3. Trusting God in career uncertainty. There have been seasons when I questioned my career path, wondering if I was in the right place, feeling stuck or uncertain about what was next. But faith means trusting that God is guiding my steps, even when I can't see the full picture. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3. In moments of career uncertainty, I've learned to pray for guidance and wisdom. Trust that God's timing is perfect. Remain faithful where I am while being open to new opportunities. God has a purpose for my work, whether it's preparing me for something greater or using me right where I am. Using my work to glorify God. At the end of the day, my work is not just about making money. It's about making an impact. Jesus calls me to do everything for his glory, including my job. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. That means bringing a spirit of excellence into my work, encouraging and uplifting those around me, praying for my coworkers and workplace, seeing my job as an opportunity to serve others. No matter what my career is, whether I'm in an office, a classroom, a hospital, a construction site, or at home, my work can be a testimony of my faith. When work feels meaningless. There have been times when I felt like my work didn't matter, that it was repetitive, frustrating, or uninspiring, but I've learned that God can use me even in the ordinary. Jesus himself spent years as a carpenter before beginning his ministry. He understood what it meant to do daily, normal tasks. But even in those years, he was preparing for something greater. I remind myself that even the smallest tasks have value when done for God. Faithfulness in little things prepares me for greater things. God sees my efforts, even when no one else does. No work is meaningless when it's done for the Lord. Jesus at work, a daily commitment. Bringing faith into my career isn't about preaching in the office or quoting Bible verses to my coworkers. It's about living out my faith through my actions. Every day, I have the choice to work with integrity, be a light in the workplace, trust God with my career path, see my work as part of my calling. Jesus doesn't just want to be part of my Sundays. He wants to be part of my Mondays, my meetings, my deadlines, and my daily work. So today, I choose to invite him into my career, to trust him with my future, to work with purpose, knowing that he is with me, guiding me, and using me right where I am. Overcoming the fear of bringing faith into the workplace. For a long time, I hesitated to bring my faith into the workplace. I worried about what people would think. I feared being labeled as too religious or making others uncomfortable. I didn't want to come across as pushy or force my beliefs on anyone. But then I realized something. Jesus never called me to be silent about my faith. He called me to live it. In Matthew 5:16, Jesus said, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glory your Father in heaven." That verse helped me understand that sharing my faith doesn't mean preaching at work. It means reflecting Christ in the way I work and interact with others. I started asking myself, do my coworkers see something different in the way I handle stress? Do I respond to conflict with grace? Am I known for my integrity and kindness? Faith in the workplace isn't about forcing conversations. It's about living in such a way that people notice something different and want to know more. I began to pray, Lord, let my actions and my character be a testimony to who you are. And I found that when I lived this way, people naturally started asking about my faith, opening the door for meaningful conversations. Serving others through my work. One of the most powerful ways to bring Jesus into my career is by adopting a servant-hearted approach to work. Jesus himself said, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Matthew 23:11. He modeled this by washing his disciples' feet, healing the sick, and meeting people where they were. Even when he was the Son of God, he humbled himself to serve others. I started asking myself, how can I serve others through my job? If I'm in a leadership position, do I lead with humility, helping others succeed? If I work with customers or clients, do I treat them with patience and respect, even when they're difficult? If I have coworkers who are struggling, do I take time to listen, encourage, or offer help? Work isn't just about what I do, it's how I do it. A job done with integrity, kindness, and a willingness to serve becomes an opportunity to demonstrate Christ's love. I've learned that success isn't just about career achievements, it's about making a positive impact on the people around me. Balancing work and faith without burnout. One of the biggest challenges I face is finding a healthy balance between work and my faith. There were times when my career consumed me. I worked long hours, constantly thought about my job, and felt pressure to perform. Even though I was succeeding professionally, I felt spiritually drained. Jesus knew we would struggle with this, which is why he said, "What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?" Matthew 16:26. That verse convicted me. I realized that no job, no title, and no paycheck was worth losing my peace, my health, or my relationship with God. Here's what I've learned about maintaining a healthy balance. 1. Keeping God first in my schedule. I used to tell myself, I'll pray later, or I'll read my Bible when I have time. But work always found a way to take priority. Now I start my day by giving God the first moments of my time. Even just 10 minutes in the morning sets the tone for the day, reminding me that my job is not my identity, God is. 2. Setting boundaries between work and personal life. Jesus often withdrew to be alone with God, Luke 5:16. He knew the importance of rest and renewal. I've learned to set work hours and stick to them, avoiding the temptation to let work take over my personal life. Prioritize Sabbath rest, taking time to unplug, worship, and recharge spiritually. Be present with family and friends, not letting work-related stress steal my time with loved ones. When I set healthy boundaries, I'm more refreshed and effective both at work and in my faith. Trusting God with career decisions. There have been times when I felt stuck in my career, uncertain about whether I was in the right place or wondering if God was calling me to something new. I've learned that God cares about my career decisions. He doesn't want me to drift through life without purpose. He has a plan for my work, just as much as he has a plan for my spiritual life. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds me, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." When I've faced career uncertainty, I've learned to 1. Seek God's guidance through prayer. Before making any job decisions, I pray, "Lord, is this where you want me to be? Am I using my gifts for your glory?" I trust that if a door is meant to close, God will close it. And if he is leading me somewhere new, he will open the right door. 2, trust that God uses every season for a purpose. There have been jobs I didn't enjoy, seasons of frustration, and moments where I questioned why God had me in a certain place. But later, I realized that every season has a purpose. Even in a job that feels unfulfilling, God can teach me patience and perseverance, use me to encourage someone else, prepare me for something greater. Joseph in the Bible spent years as a slave and a prisoner before becoming second in command of Egypt. His career path was anything but easy, but God used every step to prepare him for his purpose. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done and the saving of many lives. Genesis 50:20. Even when I don't see it, God is working behind the scenes. 3, step out in faith when God calls me to something new. There have been times when I felt God nudging me towards a new career opportunity, but fear held me back. What if I fail? What if this isn't God's plan? What if I'm not good enough? But faith means stepping out even when I don't see the full picture. When Jesus called Peter to walk on water, Matthew 14:28-31, Peter had to step out of the boat before experiencing the miracle. If God is calling me to a new opportunity, I need to pray for wisdom, trust his leading, take the first step in faith. Jesus at work every single day. At the end of the day, bringing faith into my career isn't about standing on a desk and preaching. It's about reflecting Christ through my work ethic, my attitude, and my interactions. I want to be known not just for my skills or my achievements, but for my integrity, kindness, and faithfulness. I want my workplace to be a place where people can see Jesus through me. So every morning I pray, Lord, help me to honor you in my work today. Let my job be a reflection of your love. Use me in ways I don't even see. Let my career be more than just a job. Let it be an act of worship to you. No matter what my title is, no matter where I work, my ultimate boss is Christ. And when I work with him in mind, every task, big or small, becomes part of his greater purpose.